Good morning all. I'm Pratap Devkota. I'm a weed scientist with UVF IFAS here at West Florida Research and Education Center at JA. And today I'm going to talk about new changes in Dicamba label that has recently occurred and also how to mitigate off-target movement of Dicamba. When we talk about Dicamba system, after the commercialization of Dicamba crops, it has been widely adopted throughout the US. And if you look into the south, some of these numbers, so for cotton, out of total acreage, about 90% of the cotton are Dicamba cotton, and for the beans, about 80% of the total acreage are with Dicamba beans. And if you look at Florida, since one of the main crop is cotton, so 93% of the total acreage is Dicamba cotton. With wider adoption, we are also seeing numerous injury cases with Dicamba being applied. In previous years, we used to see a lot of these map where we used to see Dicamba injury cases. And if you look overall, so there were a lot of injury cases reported in Midwest and also in southern states like Arkansas, and also some reports from Mississippi. But if you look at Florida, we don't see any report as of now for Dicamba injury. That's a good thing for us, for our state. To prevent these injuries, EPA has come up with a new label. EPA has recently approved a new label for Dicamba products. So there will be a new label going forward in 2021 season for XtendiMax, Tabium, Ingenia or Fexapan herbicide. And the good thing is these labels are good for next 5 years. So if we have a good understanding or careful understanding of these Dicamba labels, then that will help for next 5 years for Dicamba application. So, okay, what are the key changes to new label that has been issued in 2020? The important change is Dicamba can be applied only on the Dicamba crops, not in other crops. So, the crop has to be Dicamba tolerant crop, that is Dicamba cotton or Dicamba beans. We cannot apply this product in like corn or some pasture setting. So that is against the label. An application must be made by a certified applicator, which was also in the previous label, and cannot be made by in the presence of a certified applicator. And mandatory annual Dicamba training. So Dicamba training has to be taken every year for the next 5 years. And do not spray this product when wind is blowing towards adjacent sensitive crops. So that means even though you have a downwind buffer in place, it doesn't matter. If the wind is blowing towards adjacent sensitive crop, do not spray. And also using drift reducing adjuvant, and it will be required for all applications, and also volatility reducing adjuvant. Again, there are different products that has been listed, and so please check the industry website, registrant's website. They have stewardship portals that we used to see in the past. So all this product information will be there. And do not tank mix with AMS product like ammonium sulfate, UAN, ammonium salt, and also some other acidifiers. So for the detailed tank mix products, here are the information from the stewardship portals. So again, follow this herbicides product and their stewardship portal for proper tank mix products. For the application window for soybean is June 30, or also application is prohibited after soybean is R1 stage because there is chance for crop injury. For cotton, it is July 30. No matter what, we cannot apply Dicamba products in cotton after July 30. And we can apply 4 application. 2 has to be pre-emergence before crop planting, and 2 over the top application per year. And for Dicamba rate, with each application, the acid rate has to be not greater than 0.5 pounds per acre. So when we convert that to the actual product rate, and it might be depending on herbicide product because different product has different formulation. So for XtendiMax, suppose we can use up to 22 fluid ounce per acre per application. But for Ingenia, we can use 12.8 fluid ounce per acre per application. So again, there is a difference in rate based on Dicamba product. So look at the maximum allowed rate for that product. For the downwind buffer requirement, again there is a change. Downwind buffer has been increased for non-endangered species counties. So counties which doesn't have endangered species. So downwind buffer is 240 feet, which has been increased from 110 feet. And for the counties with endangered species, it is 310 feet. And also omnidirectional buffer, we need 57 feet omnidirectional buffer for the counties that has endangered species. And we need to follow the bulletin that is available for the month where the Dicamba will be applied. So for current bulletin, we need to follow the EPA website. I have provided the link there, and also there is a number to call for bulletin. So in Florida, we have 3 counties that has list of endangered species. So Jackson County, which is our major cotton producing county, so it is in the list. Washington County, Calhoun County. So those are the 3 counties. So for these 3 counties, we need to have omnidirectional buffer of 57 feet and also 310 feet downwind buffer. So what does that mean? Here in the picture, we can see that downwind buffer, wind is blowing towards the left side. So we need 310 feet downwind buffer, but on all other sides, we need 57 feet buffer, which is omnidirectional buffer. Use of reduction technology or qualified hooded sprayer can reduce the downwind buffer requirement. Okay, so if we use the proper drift reduction technology or hooded sprayer that has been mentioned in the label or the product stewardship website, we can use those and reduce the downwind buffer. So for non-endangered species, we can reduce the downwind buffer to 110 feet, and for counties with endangered species, we can reduce to 240 feet with the qualified drift reduction technology. So again, information on different type of hooded sprayer and drift reduction technology, again, those are mentioned in product stewardship website from the registrants. So please follow those website and use the appropriate implements. For the runoff restriction, again, do not apply if there is a rain forecast within 48 hours after application, and if the rainfall is projected to exceed the field capacity. So that means if there is going to be a runoff, do not apply dicamba. And do not apply on sandy soil with less than 3% organic matter and groundwater depth is shallow. So again, we need to be aware of this information. And do not mix or load within 50 feet of wells, sinkholes, streams, rivers, reservoirs, and lakes to prevent groundwater contamination. Record keeping, again, like in the past years, there will be an extensive record keeping requirement for dicamba application. A record must be generated within 72 hours after application. Record must be kept good for 2 years. So if there is any agency that wants to see the record, it needs to be made available. And use of buffering adjuvant. So there will be a requirement for the buffering adjuvants, their purchase, volume added, and the apply, tank mix and application date and so on. So those will be in the new record keeping. So again, as I mentioned about the stewardship information portal, so here are the links from all the 4 registrants. So please follow this link and get the proper information for the tank mix, nozzles, and qualified sprayer and all those things. So those are listed. So these are very helpful, very good portal. So please go and visit these websites if you want to apply dicamba. So let's talk about off-target movement now. So when we talk about off-target movement, so there has been numerous cases related to volatility movement of dicamba. So what increases volatility? So there are different aspects related that can cause increase in volatility. So tank mixing with certain herbicides which can lower pH. So again, everything comes to reducing spray solution pH. So adding acidifying adjuvants and tank mixing AMS. So all this can increase dicamba volatility. So especially if the tank mix product reduces pH below 5, then that can be an issue, that can cause problem, that can increase volatility. So that's why read the label and only use the tank mix products that is recommended by the product label. Soil pH. So there has been report from Missouri from Kevin Bradley. So his research suggests that the soil pH can also increase dicamba volatility. If the soil pH is towards the acidic side below 5.5, then there is greater potential for dicamba volatility. Temperature effect. So this report comes from Tennessee from Larry Stickle and Tom Mueller. So again, if there is a temperature or air temperature above 86 degree Fahrenheit, there is more dicamba volatility. So again, we need to be considering this temperature factor as well. So now let's talk about particle drift. So what are the things that can contribute to particle drift? So weather factor, that is the main or the primary driving factor for particle drift. So when we talk about weather factor, temperature inversion, wind speed, wind direction, so those are the key component. So for the temperature inversion, yes, again there were a lot of key injury cases related to temperature inversion, or that was related to temperature inversion in Midwest. So it has a huge impact on dicamba drift or dicamba movement. And also what time of the day we are going to apply, we need to be careful. Is it just about the sunrise or early morning or later in the day? So is there dew present on the ground? The presence of dew and also indicates cool condition, means there could be a temperature inversion. Is visible layers of fog present? So that is also a good indicator of temperature inversion. So to address this, dicamba label allows application so 1 hour after sunrise or 2 hours before sunset. So we cannot make application within 1 hour of sunrise. So again, despite these timings, again later in the day also we have to be aware of the temperature inversion condition, and we shouldn't apply dicamba if there is a temperature inversion condition later in the day. So some picture for inversion. So if you look at here, layer of fog towards the ground surface, that is a clear inversion condition, temperature inversion condition. Again, fog and also dew present on the ground, perfect example of temperature inversion condition. So wind speed and direction, again though that is also important factor. So in no way we can let dicamba drift as shown in picture here. So we cannot afford to do for dicamba. So all the label, herbicide label requires dicamba application between 3 and 10 miles per hour. But 10 miles per hour means the maximum wind gust that can be 10 miles, not the average wind speed. So that's why when at 10 miles, we have to be also careful about, we have to watch for the wind gust. So if it exceeds 10 miles per hour, we cannot spray dicamba. And also watch for wind direction. If it's a big field, we started when wind was blowing one direction, but at the middle of the spray application, wind direction might be shifting. So we need to watch for the wind direction, shift in wind direction. And if it blows towards sensitive crop, then we have to stop application. So nozzle requirement, there are various options for each product. So and also there are different nozzles and different pressure combinations. So again, please follow these websites and select the proper nozzle and proper pressure for dicamba application. Spray speed and boom height. Again, for the boom height, the maximum boom height will be 24 inches above the canopy. We cannot raise the boom above 24 inches from the canopy. Ground speed maximum 15 miles per hour, and also we need to lower the speed at the field edges so that we don't have that vortex effect that's shown in the picture over here. So another important thing after spraying, after application, is cleaning the sprayer. So follow the label again for proper tank, proper sprayer clean out. Triple rinse procedure or pressure rinse procedure. So we need to clean the sprayer. Do not let dicamba to sit in the lines for extended period, because if dicamba sits in the line for longer duration, there is more chance for residue accumulation, and then that can contaminate the next herbicide tank mix. So in conclusion, again, follow the herbicide label carefully to reduce off-target movement. So there are different information, in the new label. So please follow the label carefully, read it carefully, and get those information. Check the wind speed and wind direction. So even during the spraying, check the wind direction, and also check conditions for inversion. So even during the daytime, there could be a temperature inversion. So again, do not spray when there is a temperature inversion condition that is favorable for dicamba movement. And also factor your field situation and surrounding crops. So you know your field better than anyone else. So you need to factor, are there sensitive crops around your field or sensitive plants, sensitive vegetation. So do not spray dicamba if there are sensitive crops around, because that might warrant some unwanted consequences, or in some cases even legal consequences. So I hope you will have a good season with dicamba application. So thank you all for watching this video, and if you have any question, please feel free to call me or even reach out to your county agents. They are also very helpful resources. So with that, I would like to thank you all.